can you believe that it is now 6 years since Robin Williams passed? I mean, we were talking about mentors, and we were saying, well, who from the movies has been the person that you can say that he has been one of your biggest mentors? And my answer was Robin Williams. And you know what? We were here on the break. Robin Williams, it was in August 2014 that he died. It's amazing how time flies, though.
Well, when you think about Robin Williams, I mean, we grew up with the Nanu of Mork and Mindy, where he was this weird, I mean, Jim Carrey and so many people owe their careers to Robin Williams just being the pioneer of the weird but super talented comedian. And if you think about it, I've got a list here of the movies that he was making after Mork and Mindy. His first starring role was Popeye. I don't know if you remember that. It wasn't a great movie, but it was kind of okay. But then he went on to make The World According to Garp, Must Go on the Hudson, Good Morning Vietnam, Dead Poet Society, Awakenings, Fisher King, Patch Adams, 1 Hour Photo, The World's Greatest Dad. He was in Hook, Aladdin. Remember Aladdin? I mean, they got Will Smith to replace him, but it wasn't the same thing. Mrs. Doubtfire, Jumanji, The Birdcage, Good Will Hunting, and even the Night at the Museum trilogy.
I think the Night at the Museum Part 3 or something like that was his last film just before he died.
Yeah. Incredible. But these are films that when these movies come out, you kind of go, oh, we've got a Robin Williams movie, maybe I'll watch it, maybe I won't. But I don't know a single movie there that isn't a classic in some way, shape or form. Maybe the early ones, not so big. Popeye wasn't huge, but every single one of them. And what I find fascinating about Robin Williams as a character, apart from the fact he's quite clearly one of the most talented people on the planet, and when you see him talking and telling jokes on stage and off stage, he could just open up the room and command it for such a long time and make it up as he went along. But like many comedians, and this is why I find it really relating to speakers, he could be super funny, but he chose to take straight drama acts as well. And his Oscar came from Good Will Hunting when he played a very straight role. Yeah. And I think that sometimes that ability to have I think it's that balance between anger and humor are almost the same, different sides of the same coin. I was trying to explain this to my daughter, because I remember when another comedian, Michael Keaton, was asked to play Batman. And of course, everyone went crazy. You can't have him. He's no way is he going to be Bruce Wayne. But he was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant, because that ability to make people laugh and then turn and be full on aggressive with different sides, and it worked really well. So Robin Williams had that completely. He was just such a genius.
Yeah, I think once again, also linking it into speaking, and I think that's the big takeaway where we can see of what we can learn from an amazing genius like Robin Williams. Every performance that he was doing, he was giving the absolute best to his audience. I absolutely recommend you to watch any of his stand-up shows, or more than anything, watch some of the interviews that he had in Jay Leno and that he had with, all those, because there's golden nuggets to learn as a speaker from him, because his entire career, and that's why he was doing so well, was dedicated to his audience. I mean, that was his life, basically dedicating the best to the audience. And you will always see whoever does well as a speaker, whoever does well as a performer, is somebody that really gives him or herself to the audience. And I think he was one of the best examples of this. In fact, let's just have this. Let's just have a look at this video as part of the beautiful tribute. Have a look.
Please, don't worry so much, because in the end, none of us have very long on this earth. Life is fleeting. And if you're ever distressed, cast your eyes to the summer sky, when the stars are strung across the velvety night, and when a shooting star streaks through the blackness, turning night into day. Make a wish. Think of me. and make your life spectacular. I know I did.
I mean, the thing is about Robin Williams is, I mean, looking at the titles here in Wikipedia, his genres: observational comedy, improvisational comedy, physical comedy, political satire, self-depreciation, and surreal humor. These are such different types of humor that most people can only get one or two at most. You never knew what you were going to get from him. The guy could just command an entire room and change it. And you know what's really scary about this whole experience of Robin Williams? Do you know how old he was when he took his own life?
62, 63?
63.
Wow.
Now, for you and I, the gray hair is not by accident, but we're in our early 50s. That's not that far away. What point do you turn around and say, that's it, I'm ready to stop? Now, he went for a number of different challenges, and this is true for almost every stand-up comedian. And I realized this because when I used to work on radio, I used to interview a lot of stand-up comedians, and they'd come onto the show, and whenever we did a tour with a Laughter Factory in Dubai, we'd bring them into the show, and I'd meet them, and it's like, how are you doing? Great to see you. And they were boring. Really, really boring. And the reason for that is because when they're on stage, all their best humor gets used. When they're off stage, they're thinking about the humor that they need to use when they're on stage. Correct. So they're basically holding back on it. It's like a martial arts expert or a WWF wrestler. They don't fight all the time, but they save their energy for when they're using it. So these guys would come on, and all I could do is say, so how's Dubai? Yeah, good. How are you doing? Good. And I think that the challenges that Robin Williams had are meant as well. In the UK, Tony Hancock had this. I know that Jim Carrey suffered from it as well. Is a huge amount of depression that comes as the downside of humor. When you're on stage, everybody loves you and you're fantastic. But when you're off stage, unless you get people to laugh at the same time, people just treat you as a person. And that's sometimes not enough. And so a lot of comedians have a real problem with balancing their on and off stage personas because it is so big or so quiet. And many actors have that as well.
Yeah, sad. 6 years. I cannot believe it. So, well, this was a nice moment for us to remember somebody that has inspired us tremendously.
Robin Williams. Cheers to you, fella. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you really enjoyed it, then make sure you watch one of these two videos afterwards. And Ernesto, why are you staring up the top of my head?
Dave, your hair is actually thinning out.
Well, if it is, it's about the only thing getting thin on this show.
Here on this side, we have some more amazing videos for you to watch.